Hey there. In this week's non-duality teaching, I want to talk about something that is very simple, yet often overlooked and drastically misunderstood, which is acceptance and the power of acceptance in your life, what it can do for you, what it is, and why you would want to do it. So for you to understand acceptance, one of the analogies, if you will, that I came up with was something I saw somebody say in the comments of one of my recent YouTube shorts where I was talking about acceptance, and I was talking about it in another video. And the sentiments of this commenter, I totally get it. Why they think they disagree. But interestingly, without acceptance, the institutions who think they run our world, they get away with what they're doing. And this is not what this video is about. This video is about acceptance, but I'm just using this other thing as an example. So I was talking about the, elite, right? The billionaires who have taken it upon themselves to run the world. Totally unelected group of billionaires who, for some reason, think they should be in charge. And many of you watching probably know about the terrible things that they're doing. And I was explaining in this other clip video, this YouTube short, how, acceptance is not approval and it's not denial either. It's neither of those. And if we don't merge with the isness of what our world is, which is true acceptance, then they win, the elite, right? And I think the commenter was left with the impression that what I was saying, even though I pointed this out in the video, by the way, but I think the cognitive dissonance, they didn't quite hear me say it, right? They think what I was talking about was approving of what the this group of criminal oligarchs is doing. Because I was talking about accepting it. And the person said, I'll never accept that. These are evil people. And I don't disagree, but that's not what I'm talking about when I use the word acceptance. So I shared that story with you because I want you to be clear about what acceptance is. And by the way, side note, if you'd like to learn more about the oligarchical powers that are trying to take control of our planet, you can find me over here on this platform. It's another video platform. Same name. If you can find my channel over here, it's just like YouTube. It's just a different video platform. And you can find me under the same name, New World All-Star. All-Star is one word, ALLSTAR. And I've got some teachings about those systems and kind of how things really work here on planet Earth that they don't tell you in the mainstream, right? And then the next step, of course, is, well, what do we do about it? So I've got some ideas about how we can create communities so that we can live in peace and prosperity. That's my goal on this other platform over here. Now, back to the matter at hand, acceptance. What is that really? Because it doesn't mean I approve, and I was clear about that in the other video. And I think what made the person angry was I picked something so extreme. I picked about the worst thing that you possibly could. A gaggle of criminal oligarchs who are doing horrible things. They're the ones that start all the conflicts, etc., etc. So for you to really understand acceptance is not to understand it. But I can give you some examples. So let's start with this one. Let's say that you lose a pen or a contact lens. You might get upset about it. Probably. And that's okay. You don't want to bypass the emotion. You allow yourself to feel the emotion. The emotion is useful. But at some point, maybe in a day or two, you go, you know what? It happened. It's done. And that's it. And that's all that you say about it. Okay? But to say things is to articulate concept, thought, the mind, right? Remember, body, mind, soul. And we're not saying the mind is bad. That's just what that is. And the mind cannot accept things in the way that I'm talking about, where normally you would think of acceptance as, oh, I like this, I accept you, I think it's great. That's not what I'm talking about. Acceptance is neither approval nor disapproval. It's neither of those. Approve, disapprove. That's duality. That's the mind. And I'm not saying that's bad. That's just what that is. This kind of acceptance is the spiritual kind, right? Which is hard to put a label on. As soon as I say spiritual, that's a concept. Like as soon as you utter the word, I'm turning non-duality teachings into a consciousness, but I don't know what else to do because, you know, I have to use words, language to communicate with you, the audience, and words, language are necessarily duality. They are concepts. But we got to do something. I got to say something, right? To teach you about this. Okay. But breaking that language barrier, explaining it like that, like I just did right there, that is how you do that. I'm pointing you at the fact that I can only point you. That's why a lot of spiritual teachers refer to these types of non-duality teachings as pointings rather than a teaching, because I can't really name specifically the thing that I'm talking about, because as soon as you say that there is an it for you to be talking about, you're already doing it wrong, right? And I think it was either last week or the week before where I really gave a really deep dive pointing at non-duality, the true nature of non-duality. I think the video was called What is the Self Part 2 or something like that. If you want to go back and watch that video. You can find it on my The True Spiritual Journey playlist on this YouTube channel. That way you don't have to go digging around on my channel to find it. But it is this essence, this formless essence that is beyond the duality of mind. The mind can't understand true acceptance. It's energetic or something. It's spiritual. And again, that's just a label to call it spiritual, but I gotta say something to talk to you about it. But pointing that out is kind of how I communicate that to you, because you can't label it. It's not a concept. It's consciousness. It's beyond the mind. True acceptance. So that's why you could lose a pen or a contact lens and say, it just is. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just an event. It's just something that happened. And you can't think your way there, guys. Now you can meditate your way there. So as to create a lifestyle of Zen, to build spaciousness into your life, to slow down, right? That's why I'm always recommending, you know, Rupert Spira, Eckhart Tolle, Michael Singer, Anna Brown. If you go to the channels menu on my YouTube channel, you can find them there. These are teachers of non-duality, which is true spiritualism, right? It is genuine spiritualism, non-duality teachings, just like this video. So acceptance is this formless essence of who you really are at your core, who you really are is not good or bad, this or that. You are not a collection of events, judgments, or any of these. You're completely formless. So, to look at the most dastardly world events and accept them, not approving, accepting, to look at something and understand the isness of what is. That's acceptance. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, if you don't resist internally what is, you're not going to get more of it, right? If you don't like what's going on, you don't resist it internally. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't take actions, say, to protect yourself or to work for real change in the world. But that's the doing. And actions, doing, those are fine things, and I recommend doing those things. But what does not occur to the ego is that you can be doing those things and being something else. You could be taking actions to build a better world, and internally you feel acceptance. You see the isness and perfection of everything in the world. That's spiritual, guys. This is why Jesus was able to say to his captors when he was hung on the cross, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." It's this kind of peaceful acceptance. You can be resisting in the 3D. You could be doing things to protect yourself with your physical body and your mouth, but how you feel inside, you never want to resist. And by the way, before I let you go, that's exactly how you do fight the ruling elite, the so-called oligarchs. They're expecting you to resist them. That's how they win. They know that. Acceptance, my friends. It's spiritual. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.